Sometimes for other people, I'm like so confused. I'm like, does he like me? Does he not? Does he care if I live or die? Like, I have no idea. Honestly, I have no idea. The whole thing started at the actual Super Bowl. I saw her rubbing her stomach. I was like, oh my gosh, is she pregnant? I thought that was so wild.
What's your type?
What's my type? I don't know. It's just...
She's like, black hair, 6 foot, has to be this. You had like Zoom practices? How did that go?
Zoom practices, it was mainly in like...
Make TikToks and send it through. That's all it was.
Well, they'll like give you like a little compliment and then not text you for a few days.
Does that shit work? Because it's,
I
hear
God.
mix.
Like,
Be
don't
real.
do that
I
on
hear mix. Be
purpose.
so real.
Sometimes if you're just nice, they're like, oh, she's in love with me. I got her and everything, which is not true.
Yo, welcome back to the Heatin podcast, the hottest podcast in the game. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe button, follow, rate, all that good stuff. But again, thank you for tuning in to another episode. Today is a very special episode because we finally got another female guest. But it's not just any female, because our guest today is one of Arizona State University's top cheerleaders. She's been in the program all 4 years, and she's paved the way for the future cheerleaders to come. She's also performed in last year's Super Bowl halftime show with Rihanna. We got the talented, the beautiful Katie Hoyt. Katie.
Hi.
Thanks for coming on. I know you're busy. The season started. You literally had a game like yesterday.
Yeah.
How's the season been going so far now that it started? Your fourth and final year, how's it been going?
It's been going good. Just kind of taking things day by day. We have a new coach this year, so that's really exciting, and I love her. Yeah, just adapting to everything that's going on. Football, games are super fun, and that's all we do. We don't compete or anything. So it's just been, I don't know, just rolling with the punches, just having fun, just happy to be here, to be honest.
So what's like the day-to-day actually look like for a cheerleader? Like, what's your routine? What's the schedule like? And has it changed throughout the years, or is it like same old all 4 years?
I mean, it's pretty generally the same all 4 years. So we have practice Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Weekends if we have to, if we're like learning a routine or something, but yeah, it's usually like 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. We warm up, stretch, do all this stuff. We work on like different kinds of stunts, practice dances, go through like game day scenarios, just run throughs of a lot of different things, seeing what works, what don't. And then we work out at the very end, which is something new that we do like this year. So we'll have we had different committees, and the workout committee, they'll like switch through like teaching us or like running through like a 10-minute workout at the very end. So that's been like actually really fun, and sometimes it's like really hard because you're really tired at the very end, but I just know that you'll get stronger and everything. So that's been really fun. And then game days, we get there very early, sometimes like 3 p.m., sometimes like 4:30 p.m., depending on like what we have to do for that day, because sometimes there's a lot of tailgates that go on that we have to attend to. So
you guys have to go to those? Those are like part of it?
If it's requested for us, yeah, we do go, but it's like either all of us or divided up between like classes, or just depends on like what they want. So this past game yesterday was the OSU game, so it was all of us seniors. We went to like around Postino's. That's like a little tailgate that usually happens every Saturday home game. So we'll just go over there with the band and like warm up in like a little horseshoe formation, and then they'll play for 5-10 minutes, and then we just rally and do what we do. And then we usually do what's called a concert on the steps, which is in front of Desert Financial Arena. And
can we still call? Oh wait, no, that's the basketball one, right?
Yeah, that's the basketball arena. So we do that on football game days. It's usually like an hour-ish before the game starts, but like before kickoff. And so we'll line up there. Basically, the band is warming up, and all of cheer and dance, we're lined up there, and it's for like the parents and the kids and whatnot to like be right there in front of us when during the game they can't be like right exactly there. So as they're warming up, going through like all of what they do for like 10-20 minutes, we just like cheer in front of our family. So that's been a tradition we usually do. But these past couple days, it's been a heat advisory. It's really hot, so we weren't able to do that, but it's usually really fun doing all that. And then we go in and we do our pregame routine, and those have been going very good. And then what's called Stomp the Bus, when right before we run the football players out, that's like one of my favorite parts of the whole game. And they play the little promo video and everything, the electricity, the lights go out, and like I just want to cry. Like not this past game, but the game before is my last like first game. So I was like in tears and everything, just like taking it all in. Basically, that's just this entire year. I'm just gonna take it all in because I know I'm not gonna get another year of it. Yeah. But yeah, that one's
since
super
you actually
fun.
since you brought it up, it is your fourth and final year.
Yeah.
What are the emotions like? Like, are you obviously you've been here all 4 years? Are you happy about it all? But it's kind of coming to an end. Like, what are the emotions been like?
It's been kind of up and down. In some ways, I'm very happy just to be experiencing all this and to be one of the only members like this year who is a fourth year. But at the same time, I'm really sad because I don't want it to end, and I just can't imagine myself like not being in cheer anymore. Like, that's just weird to me. I've been in dance and cheer since I was 2 years old. So
wait, okay.
Yeah.
I never understood how this works. How did y'all start so early? Like, I've never heard of a cheerleader being like, oh, I just started like 3 years ago. Like, are all of you guys on the team basically like, oh yeah, we started from the womb? Like, I've never heard like a just recently started cheerleader on like a D1 program.
Okay, to explain that a little bit more, a lot of the girls, we all come from kind of different backgrounds. So either you start as a dancer, a gymnast, or all-star cheerleader, which I started as a dancer. And my mom was a dancer growing up, and she owned a dance studio, so I learned basically how to walk on there. And I started dancing when I was like 2-3 years old. So I just loved it so much. And then starting in high school, I decided to try out for pom and cheer. And I just fell in love with cheer and stunting and tumbling and all that stuff, along with dancing, because our team right now, we dance on the sidelines, and we do the same sidelines as the dance team, which I love so much because I love dancing. And so that's how I originated, and a lot of the other girls, they were either gymnasts or all-star cheerleaders the entire time. Sometimes they took a break and they came back, and then they started this program. But a lot of the boys, they were either like in sports or did other things or weightlifted, and then they decided to like join cheer just for fun. And yeah, I love them all. Like, this team is my favorite.
Okay, cool. That makes a lot more sense.
Okay, I mean, since this is like your last year and everything like that, do you still get nervous during games, things like that, or do you just like...
Yes, I hate that I do. Sometimes I do. I think it's because I'm trying to take it all in at once.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not going to get this opportunity like many times again. So I'm like, oh, I got to make the most of it. But then at the same time, like, I see my mom. She sits in like the second or third row, like right in front of us. And so like I always see her right before, and like I say hi and everything. And she said like, just have fun. Like, you're doing this because you want to, and it's an activity and it's fun. And just remember that. And so I go out there, I'm like, okay, lock in and everything. Right before we're about to like run out and do our performance and everything, I'm like, this is like my favorite thing in the whole world. Yeah. And like, I don't know, I just love it. My favorite thing is performing in front of a crowd and just like making people smile basically, and having an impact on like the little kids that are in their little ASU cheer uniforms that just want to be us one day. Like, I want them to grow up and like want to basically do what I do, and just make people happy being there, because sometimes like that's their only time they ever go to an ASU game, and I want to make sure that they want to go to another one, or maybe their kids want to join our team one day, just kind of things like that. So
all right, so you're trying to play like you're cool and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you have any like favorite memories for these past 4 years?
Right, yeah. You went March Madness was last year, right? That was the first time you probably had to cheer at March Madness?
Yes, that was my first time at March Madness, which thank goodness we were able to go. I didn't know we were going to leave until the day before.
Yeah,
so
it did come to the end, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching it. I remember sitting on my couch. I had just gotten back from men's Pac-12 that day. I was visiting with my parents, and we were sitting in the living room and had it on the TV. And I was like, oh my goodness, like I had like goosebumps and everything. And I found out that we were going, and I had already sent to like my coach that like I would want to go if we were able to. And so it was like, okay, wow. So then they kind of put it together, like you, like you're all going. And I was like, okay, like drove back to Tempe and then packed up all my stuff. And even that night I felt so sick and I was about to not go because I felt so sick. But then I made myself. I was like, I'm probably never going to be able to go again. Like I have to.
Was it a cool experience?
Yes, it was amazing. But luckily in the morning I felt fine, which thank goodness. So we were on a charter plane. We were with like donors, the band, basketball team, and it was us. And we went to Ohio, and that was just like the most crazy experience. And then we won, and that was such a fun game.
So cool.
And then we went to what was it, Colorado, I think it was, and that was really fun too. And it was just a great experience, just being able to do that. I love basketball, and just being able to sit literally like on the court with them. Like
is that your favorite sport to cheer for then? Because you do
know.
wait, is it football, basketball, baseball? Or do you do all sports?
We do football, baseball, basketball, volleyball.
Soccer?
We've done a couple soccer games. My very first game at ASU was a soccer game.
Oh, really?
So we kind of, I don't think we'll do it this year, but if they request us, like we're more than happy to go and support for anything. So
cool. No, March Madness sounds dope. I kind of threw that at you though. Is that your favorite memory? I kind of just threw that at you though.
Oh yeah. Honestly, one of my favorites. Yeah, I love all the Vegas trips we've had. All the men's and women's Pac-12 games. Those were amazing. We even like went and visited that past Creighton game. It was like a random one. We got to go with 942. We weren't cheering, but we were cheering in like the seats and everything. So it was all of them were like such great memories. I love traveling, and for football last year I traveled to Stanford, and I did the OSU game last year, and those were so much fun. I just love traveling with my best friends, like my family. Like it was just the best memories.
Dope
ever.
experience, yeah. So you're a senior, I'm a senior. We both went through COVID. You've been here all 4 years, but the first 2 years were kind of stripped from us, if we're being realistic.
Yeah.
What was it like as an athlete? Like, how was cheering during COVID? Like, was there even a thing, or was it kind of still like, okay, we don't know if this is actually going to be a thing this year? Like, what was it like in 2020 and 2021?
Okay, that is such like, I feel like such a touchy subject for me personally. I had tried out for the team in 2020, and I had made it, and I was so excited. So I didn't dorm or anything at Tempe. I was living at home, and I would drive to Tempe on every Monday, Wednesday, Friday for practice. And because I really wanted to be there, I was so excited. I learned all the material. We would do Zoom practices sometimes, and then by October we were in person. And we would practice outside with masks on, being social distanced at the same time. And then we had to stunt, so technically no. But yeah, that was such a crazy experience. I learned all the material. We even did like some promo videos, all that stuff. We were just hoping to cheer a game. We never really got to. We did that one soccer game, like I mentioned, which I was so nervous for, but I've grown.
Was there a crowd? It sounds about right. Yeah, they better go ahead and request.
It was maybe a little bit, but so there was that. We had like a media day, which was like so thankful for. And after that, we had tryouts, and it was like over online, like YouTube video submissions again.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, it was a little different. So we had that going into my sophomore year. And then my sophomore year was my first year being able to actually cheer on the field. But we had masks on the whole time for football and basketball.
Yeah.
That was very hard running through like the entire pregame performance, because we start at one end zone and we stunt there. We run to the other end zone. We stunt over there and dance over there. And then we run back to the other end zone. And we're so out of breath, but you have to... That's why we train so much and we run so much, so we can basically get the endurance that we need to be able to do that and smile and like, show the crowd that we're, still having a good time, because we are. So
that's cool though. They were still like able to let y'all do what you guys do.
Thank goodness. I was so happy to be a part of that.
Yeah, and you had like Zoom practices. How did that go?
So Zoom practices, it was mainly in like, I would say September of 2020 was mostly the Zoom practices. We kind of just had...
Make TikToks and send it through. That's all it was.
Well, it was like over Zoom, so we had like a ton of different like little square boxes all over the computer, and you kind of pinned the one. It was like either like a captain teaching or one of the coaches talking, so we just had that pinned, and then we would go over each sideline, and then they would like kind of watch us to make sure that we were like doing it good. Some of the girls, like, they were living with each other, they were hanging out, so it would be like multiple people like in the video. I was alone in my room, so I just had that set up with like some like lights and whatnot, and like trying to do my best going full out in my like little room. But yeah, so that was interesting, but it definitely was a lot better in person when I could see. So I knew like what I was doing wrong compared to like what I was like doing right, and so it just made more sense when we were back in person.
What's cool, so you, again, like you guys were still able to do what you guys do.
Yeah,
so
we were still able to make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, you're in a D1 college program, what do you think the biggest difference is between high school cheer and a D1 college program for cheer?
It's a lot of professionalism is the difference. On the sidelines, there's a lot of like expectations to where we have to do certain things or we don't do certain things. Like in high school, I remember we would walk around and like joke around with our friends and talk and point. We can run up to the little gate and like hug our friends and whatnot. We can run up to the stands during halftime and like sit with our family in high school, which was like always super fun, but that was high school. So this right now, we're very, it's very like on stage, like presence, like having to keep our feet together, like facing the ball every single time. Our line's very, very straight, always smiling, of course, and there's always cameras on us, no matter if it's from the other side or from the crowd or the big giant like thing moving around. We always like are on screen, and like when we're walking around anywhere, like always walking in pairs of two, like having our arms together, like our palms together. Just, and that's how it should be, I feel like, with like any program, just being that like professional. And basically we're like the face of the school, and we want to, you know, have everybody know that like we are very respectful and kind, and we want to be treated that way as well. So of course we're gonna give that. Yeah.
And then based on like high school versus D1 college, like, is there any, and I don't know if you're even able to answer this like truthfully, but like toxicity or jealousy between it? Because like, you know, although everyone participates, right? Like everyone on the team gets to participate. It's not like a basketball where like there's people on the bench and they're like, man, I wish I was out there, right? But you know, it's still a competitive thing. You guys still want to be the best. Is there any jealousy that comes between like you and the rest of the team, whether that be in high school or D1, or has that just never been a thing?
I think maybe in high school there might have been a little bit. On the team currently, I don't think so. I think everybody is happy for each other. If, you know, you get a certain spot or whatever, we're all like mixing and mingling like all the time. Whether that's like formations for routine or like stunting, whatnot. They kind of just base it like it doesn't matter really if you're like in this place or this place, because you could see everybody, and like the cameras go to even like the back line, like they'll show only like a certain person, and they could be in the very back, and like you could be in the very front and you're not on like the big screen. So it doesn't really matter. And sometimes they just say like, oh, seniority or like height or this or that, like it just depends on that. So everybody's just kind of happy just to be on the team and just be with each other. So I don't really think so for right now in college. I think we're like moved past that, but maybe in high school there could have been, because we competed in high school, and if you got like the center jump person or like this, that, whatever, people would be like, like
okay,
whatever. So there could have been some of that, but as of right now, like I don't really think so.
Which is good. Obviously, you know, you guys are adults.
Yeah, and we're all like so close.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then now that, again, college athletes can get paid, N.I.L deals, stuff like that. Like you see, you made a face. Do cheerleaders, I wanted to ask, do cheerleaders get the chance to get paid like college athletes and N.I.L deals and stuff like that?
I heard from someone we were like able to, but we like, I don't at all. Like I don't get anything from this. Like all of us purely just want to be here. Like we don't get paid for anything. Like I don't know. I don't get anything from doing this. So I put in all this like hard work. I buy all my own nylons and like everything for like games and whatnot, just because I want to do this, and I love cheering for ASU, and like supporting everything and just being here. Like I will do anything and pay whatever money just to like be on the team and be there for everybody. So,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then
do you have any like plans after college? Anything like that?
Do you want to continue cheering? Like, is going?
Are you going to try to try out for like any NBA, NFL teams?
Dallas Cowboys, like they got or something like that. Is that a dream? Or?
I know. I have so many ideas of what I want to do and like what I could potentially do. I've been told so many times, like, go try out for DCC, or I would love to be on, like, Raiderettes or try out for different places. So that's an idea. Also knowing, like, do I want to live in those places for a year? Like, starting over and doing all that stuff. Currently right now, I'm, like, in pre-med. So I'm eventually going to take MCATs and, like, go to med school. But I'm wanting to take a year off and, like, try and either do like a master's program somewhere and just do like a graduate year, like boosting credit, and doing cheer somewhere that's like not at ASU, or doing a pro NFL team, such as one of those like options if I even make it anywhere. So you still have to try out for some place, of course, and just figuring out like where I could get either accepted to or where I want to go and live on my own for a year, which is like scary for me personally. Yeah. I'm like a little girl. So I don't know what I want to do at all. And like I also haven't talked about this with like many people at all. So nobody really knows what I want to do or what I'm going to do. So I've thought about like, I mean, it would be a dream even to compete with like, I don't know, like Texas Tech, since like ASU is going to be going into, I think it's called Big 12, and they're in the Big 12, and so that'd be cool to like see my teammates again, and then I could also compete with them and do a grad year over there. So
cheer's still like, on the table regardless.
Yeah, I really want to like another year of it after graduating from ASU. I do want to continue because I feel like my body, I feel like I'm like still like 12 years old and I can do like flips everywhere still, and like I don't know, there's just no way I could just like stop doing this.
But regardless, I mean, again, you're biomed, biotech. I don't even know what you said. Like, science is so crazy. But yeah, like you already got it set regardless. So I think that's good. Like you have both sides. Cheer's still open, but you're good regardless. So yeah,
you can always go to school like any age. So I don't think I have to rush into going into a med school or continuing all that stuff. And
you'll have your bachelor's already. So like
I'll have my bachelor's. But I just know at one point in my life I still want to do this. You can't be young and hot forever. Like, so basically.
Right. So let's switch it up a little bit away from the college stuff. Super Bowl. Chiefs, Eagles. Last year, Rihanna performed at the halftime show, and you were one of the performers. Extras, performers? I'm going to call you performer. But what was that like? How did that opportunity even come about?
So the first I heard of it, was quite a while before. They were mentioning stuff about us cheerleaders being like a part of something with it because we're in Arizona and it was held in Arizona. So I already had like kind of like a bird in my ear about it, but it came to a point where it was like around, I don't know, maybe like December-ish, and one of our coaches had sent us a tryout link, and it was like I don't know if it was discreet or not, but basically they wanted people who lived within like a certain like mile radius of the Cardinals arena that could like drive there for practices. So it was only like excluded to those people for like the 200 extra people rather than on the stage, because the stage dancers were like the main girls and like guys and whatnot, and those were like her dancers from like my like awareness, I guess. So those people were from like LA, of course, and then all of us that were like on the ground and everything, we all like live in Arizona. We're from here, and we basically tried out with a video. So you applied and whatnot and got.
So you were good from freshman year doing all the Zoom meetings and stuff. You're like, oh, this is it. I got this one.
I already know how to like upload it, everything. So that was really easy. Thank God.
And what was it like? Like that whole experience? What was it?
I was really nervous to try out because I wasn't sure like how many people, like I had no idea anything. We had no idea what the songs were, what we were going to wear. We didn't know like what the dancing was going to be like, how many people, like I had no idea. So I just was like, you know what, like I don't want to have any regrets ever. Like I will just go for it. So I tried out, and thank goodness, like I got an email, I made it. And then they were saying how like, go to this location at this time, like you're gonna do this. So we had to do like COVID testing every single time before we started anything. And then I basically went in and we were like trying on our like costumes, which that was
They were
such
dope.
that
But-
was such a big, I feel like, conversation about the Super Bowl halftime was, you know, kind of like making fun and be like, oh, the little marshmallows and this and that. Yeah, when I first saw that, I was like, oh my goodness,
You didn't like
what
them?
is? I did like it, but I was so surprised.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa,
And
like
it had to be hot, no? Like those things, I'm like,
I
gotta
was
be-
sweating buckets like
Yeah.
crazy. It was so hot. We had literally like 3 different
dude,
layers
what were they
of
thinking?
hoods.
Like, what, they couldn't get any other like cooler, not like cool
Right.
in that sense, but like they chose the hottest thing. They chose hoodies and like astronaut suits for
Honestly,
the
it
hottest.
was
winter
just
coat,
like
bro.
the vibe of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
It was dope, but
yeah, I think
you
it
know.
was actually super cool, and I
Mhm.
like love the idea. It like grew on me quite a bit. I think it was just the first like 5 seconds of me seeing it. I was like, whoa, wait,
Yeah.
hold on. But it was such an honor. Like, no complaints at all. Like,
Mhm.
I'm so grateful to be a part of that. Like, that's a once in a lifetime experience. Like,
Crazy.
I don't know. I'm so excited to tell my kids one day, like, hey, go look up this video on YouTube. Like, that's me right there,
Mhm.
kind of thing.
You know
like,
where you're at on that video?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
That's
dope.
kinda-
Alright,
yeah,
that's-
there's
yeah.
like the little like rectangle, and then it goes out a little bit, and like behind Rihanna, so she's like facing me. I'm like right here.
You were that close.
Yeah, I was like really
Hey,
close.
oh,
Like I was like
okay.
looking at her at one point because like I knew what it was going on, and we were kind of like holding some
Yeah.
things. I looked over, and like she was just standing right there in her like little red outfit. Also, we did not know she was pregnant. Like,
Did I don't
we had
even
no
really?
idea
Did
because she
we-
was at
what?
her practices.
Did the public? Or I don't even know. Because honestly, I think the first time
Didn't
I
she
found
reveal
out-
it?
I
Was
thought
when
the
she-
At
first
the-
time
yeah.
at the show,
At
and everyone
the
was like, "Wait a minute."
performance. Yeah, and we were like, "Whoa." Because she like rubbed her belly, and we're like, no way. Because during like it was like 2-ish practices that
Yeah.
like we were in the Cardinal Stadium or State Farm, whatever, and so she was there with us and singing as we were like
Yeah.
dancing and everything, which was like insane. Like I was just like had my like ear mic in, and I was just like listening to her
Hearing
sing
her.
live in my ear, and I was like,
That's
this
so
is
dope.
crazy. This is so crazy. So
Did you get
she
to meet
was
her?
wearing not like
Not really.
perfect.
Not like
that
face
was
to
like the
face.
closest I did.
That's still
of
dope. That's
meeting her.
way closer
I'll
than all
take
the
it.
other ones. Yeah.
I was like, if I'm just chilling in a room practicing dancing and she's like 20 feet
There.
away from me,
That counts.
I'll take
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but she is so sweet. Like,
Yeah.
she was just thanking everybody so much for like taking the time to be there for like all the hundreds of people
Mm.
moving in and out the stage because they had to practice that, like moving that stuff super quick because like they're on a time crunch like during the game. So she was just like thanking them and everything, and she was just so sweet and so patient with everybody, and it was just like such a great honor like being in the same room as her. And but she was wearing like these like big fur like coat things during our practice, and you know it's just like, you know, that like kind of
Yeah.
look. I was just thinking, but then when she like took it off, or she like, I don't know, basically the whole thing started like at the actual Super Bowl, and I saw her like rubbing her stomach. I was like, oh my gosh, like, is she pregnant? I was like, that's so
funny.
crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was so wild.
That's
but
such
I'm
a
like,
cool-
I think the kid was born. I think it's a. Is it a boy?
girl?
I don't know. I'm not. Up
I don't
to
even
date
know
on
the
that
first
stuff.
one, to be honest with you. I have no clue. But
Yeah.
no, that's such a dope experience.
No, yeah, it was so crazy, and just like learning like all the material, and like we were outside for a lot of it, and we had to have like an earpiece in, and so like the public couldn't hear, so all the music of like the entire time was going on inside of our ears and never on a speaker. So we
Really?
were all like listening to it in our like little like headphone things. It was
Mhm.
crazy, but yeah, it
That's
was so
dope,
cool.
though. Yeah.
I loved it.
How hard was the practices?
It was just more, I feel like it was a lot of repetition, so which is something like I'm kind of used to
Mhm.
with dancing and everything, so it really wasn't ever that hard, and they were all so nice. Like they always had this like big like food thing with like snacks for us and like waters and whatnot, just making sure that we were like fed and, you know, hydrated and everything, and they gave us like a lot of breaks, and like they really pushed us to like make sure that we were like going super full out, that we like for sure knew it, that we were all doing the exact same thing. Like it was very like nitpicky if it was like here or here, like little things
Yeah.
like that, just because it's a very important show. So yeah, it was just a really good experience. It wasn't like ever like super hard, but I had like quite a bit of friends that I knew from there, even from like high school,
Whoa.
I realized, I was like, oh my god, hey. And like my old like dance studio growing up, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, hey guys, like I haven't seen you since I was like 13, but so I thought
we're at the
that
Super
was
Bowl
crazy.
now. Like we really
know,
made it,
it's like,
guys.
how crazy.
Good reunion.
Did you guys practice in the costumes, or did you have like something
had
else to
to.
wear?
Did we? Oh, it was like the last practice we had.
Mhm.
Yeah, we practiced in
That makes
the
sense.
costumes, and it was so hot. It took like on the actual day, I think it took like a couple hours to get everybody in the costumes, because
Damn.
there was like the little costume people that like fixed our stuff, that made sure that we were like all good and set exactly how they wanted it to be. So it took a long time. Like they would like feed us and everything, so we had this like whole
Good
like,
food?
buffet style meal. Yeah, it was like pretty
really?
good.
What kind?
I actually really liked it. And I was one of the first people to like get put in the thing, so then I was waiting for like another hour and a half for like everybody else to just like
Yeah.
line up and get suited up and everything. So we also had these like bags over us, so we wouldn't get like the white costumes like dirty.
Oh.
And like I actually like took like a long nap in like a hallway somewhere, and we were just like, I don't know, I was just so
There was a
tired.
lot of y'all, so I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah,
surprised.
that makes
Bro,
sense,
there's so
honestly.
many,
Yeah,
but
like total it was like 280 people
damn.
in those like
Marshmallows?
marshmallow
Oh my God,
costumes.
man.
Yeah.
It was so crazy.
Did you have any like cool moments? Like
Like, what was the coolest moment
Um,
probably out of all of that?
I feel like honestly my favorite was just the actual performance. Like
Mhm.
I actually was not nervous at all for it.
really?
I probably like I would say a lot of the games that I do for ASU, like I'm more nervous for that than I was for the Super Bowl, which
Is there a reason? Like, do
I
you
don't
know
know.
why?
Such a crazy thing, but like I was just so confident, like I just knew like the dance so well, because we just did it over and over and
Mhm.
over for like I think it was like a couple weeks straight. And so
That's
yeah,
so
I
dope.
wasn't very nervous at all, and I knew exactly like exact yard line that I was supposed to be on, where I was supposed to go, like all these different things, and I didn't have to pay attention to that, and all I could just pay attention to was like staring at everything and taking it all in, and like just like going so full out and everything, and just being so happy.
Mm.
And like then that's exactly what I did, and I was like literally wanting to cry, because I was like, this is such a crazy experience.
It
And like
is.
I don't know if I have like a photographic memory, but I can literally like imagine everything like in my head right now, exactly what I was seeing. And like was it the Eagles? They had like their mascot there,
Yeah.
and like I was like dancing around with him before it started and everything, and like seeing all the cheerleaders, and then all like the fans and everything. They were like saying hi to us, and when we were walking from the little like place, this like building that we were in, to the Cardinal Stadium, we had these like black trash bags over us to like hide us from like outside people, because they didn't know what we were gonna wear
Oh yeah.
and everything. So there's so many people like following us, taking videos, like posting it, like all this crazy
You're
stuff.
like, damn,
And I
that's
was
a
like,
lot of trash walking
my
in. Like,
yeah, I was like, it was a little scary, but
yeah.
yeah, it was
That's such a cool experience.
so
Because again,
much
like,
fun.
who knows when the next time Super Bowl is going to be in Arizona?
Right?
Plus, you even getting the
Like,
opportunity. That's so sick. That's
I
such
know.
a dope experience.
It makes me want to like try out for like different things, like go to LA and like, you know, like work on some stuff, and like
Mhm.
just like try out for audition for different things. Like that's something like I feel like it would be so
Yeah.
cool.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Switch it up a little bit. Let's get a little
Okay.
fun. All right. I have a couple of cheerleading stereotypes. Okay.
Okay.
I want to preface this. These are not our opinions or words. Okay.
Okay.
But I'm just going to start with the first one. I want to get your opinion on them. If it's right, if you think it's right, or if it's just totally wrong. Okay.
Okay.
This one you kind of already answered considering you're a biomed student. But stereotype one was cheerleaders are dumb.
Yeah, 100% false.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I am a biomedical sciences pre-med major. I want to be a dermatologist, Mohs surgeon, and do like cancer on the skin. So is my best friend, my stunt partner. He does the same thing. There's another girl on my team who wants to do the exact same thing. So all of us, we actually work so hard and like study together all the time. We have like little study dates together, and we all like help take each other to school or meet up on campus, and like I don't know. So we all
So
we all
that's
do
just
that.
because they always like make it seem like the cheerleader is always like an airhead, like just like
Oh yeah, that's such like a
Like
I feel like an
yeah.
old stereotype.
Yeah,
I feel
Like an old high
nowadays-
school movie kind of
Yeah.
stereotype.
Yeah, like those cute little like 80s
Yeah.
movies.
And
Yeah.
sticking on that, the next stereotype: cheerleaders are bullies.
Bullies.
Yeah, like you never watch the movies where like they're always with the popular kid or the jock, and they're kind of like mean to the nerd, right?
I know, yeah, and like the movies and
Yeah.
whatnot, which like I love those types of movies, but yeah, that's like At least for our team, that's like not a thing.
Mm-hmm.
We really don't.
Even in high
condone-
school?
Yeah, I was gonna
High
say.
school is
Even
where
in
it's
high
meaner.
school,
Was high school
I was
different,
so
or-
shy in high school. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like actually kind of scared that some people are gonna like watch this, but
Oh. Don't worry,
yeah,
2
no.
viewers enough.
Personally, I was so scared, like, and nervous in high school. I have like a lot of anxiety, and so like I didn't really have like many friends. Like a lot of people knew who I was because I was really involved, but I didn't have any like close friends at all. I had a couple, which I'm still very close with now, and I love them so much. But yeah, I wasn't like super open. I'm like more myself now. I like came out of my shell a little bit more in like my sophomore, junior year of college, actually.
Oh wow! So really recently.
Yeah, it was kind of recent that I just got like a little bit more comfortable with like talking to people. And
so would you have even done this like 2 years ago? Maybe.
Probably not.
Yeah.
So I'm like really proud of myself, and I'm trying to push myself to like do more stuff like this and being able to like talk to people and whatnot. So yeah, personally for me and like my team right now, we just don't condone any type of like bullying or this or that and whatnot. Like we'll like have fun with each other and like whatnot. We're just messing around, but that's like we know we're joking sometimes towards each other, but we're never like mean towards other people or anything. Like we're so like, I don't know, we're more down to like do like community stuff and like help out with other people, like volunteer work all the time. Like that
Miss
is
America type shit.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff that we love to do. And like I don't know, we have like another committee that does like all that stuff that we're eventually gonna do, like feed my starving children, like that kind of stuff. So yeah.
All right. So that one's wrong too.
So that was wrong. Yeah.
I think all of these are wrong, but I'm just gonna keep asking.
No, yeah, run it through.
This one, I don't think people agree with this at all anymore, but still might be a stereotype. Cheerleading isn't a real sport.
Okay, this one's a hard topic. I don't know. I'm thinking that they were like trying to make it a part of like the Olympics, or I think it is now. I'm not sure. So might be a sport. I feel like it is, to be honest. But ASU cheer, we're not a part of athletics.
Not at all.
So we don't get anything with athletics. We're there for them. Like, well, obviously we cheer for them, and like they had like an athletics meeting, and we were there with the band to like do a performance for them.
So is it like a club then, technically, as like
we're not a club either. We're an extension of the Sun Devil Marching Band.
Got you.
And so we love being a part of them, and it's actually very different for our like university, like compared to other universities, just because their cheerleaders aren't a part of them. So when we like perform and everything, the dancers are in like the pregame and the half times and everything, and I think it's so cool. And so we get to be a part of like the pregames, and so we like stunt and everything while like the band is playing. We're like the visual units, and so it's just so fun being with them, and like we get to travel with them, and they're just like so fun to be around. And yeah, we love them.
I think it's a sport, bro. The stuff y'all do, is crazy. Like,
I didn't realize how like hard it was until dude.
I just saw you posted on your Instagram story. Some dude, like, I don't even know how your core does that. Like, you just
my goodness, yeah,
it doesn't even make sense. Like,
I feel like it is a sport just because this is like the most like injury prone activity that you can do. We're being like I don't know, like our baskets and everything, when they like throw us into the air, we're like up there, like I'd say about like 20 feet, if not sometimes more or less, whatever. We're doing like flips in the air.
Y'all got to be athletic for that. It's not like
anyone
should just.
We
you
work
have to build an endurance
so
for
much.
It's
like,
crazy.
All the summer we did like weekly checks of like we had to run like a couple miles a few times a week just to get our endurance up, making sure that we're good like between seasons. Like I lift weights and everything sometimes. And then every practice we work out, at least like a 10-minute straight workout. This past practice on Friday, we did like a 30-minute workout. We brought this like amazing girl, and I forgot her name, but she did this whole like 30-minute straight workout with us, and it was just so much fun. Like, yeah, just really getting that endurance and like our mobility and our flexibility and like our core strength. We have to do a lot, like for like our tucks and everything. Yeah, that's a lot of like ab work to use.
It's a sport. Yeah, I think we can
I
agree.
think it is.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And the last one. Again, not our words.
Okay.
I don't even know what he wrote. Just
a stereotype. Tell me if it's wrong, and I'll explain. But cheerleaders are hoes.
I don't think so. I don't think that's very like cheer or not cheer. I think it just depends on like, I guess like the person or what you would like per se as like ho or whatever, but I mean some people could like think so because if we're cheering with like athletes and whatnot, or like for the athletes, and then we're close to them, or some people are, and then like go and like party or hang out or do whatever with them, then outsiders might think like, oh, like they're doing this and that, whatever, when like that might not be the case. Or I think it's just like an outside perspective of like their ideas with all that kind of stuff, but it doesn't always mean that.
Okay, yeah.
So,
and I was gonna say, I think it's just because like y'all are so like preppy and happy and
yeah,
stuff like that.
actually a lot of the girls on our team, I'd say like most like 80% of the girls on our team like have boyfriends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're like most all the girls are like all in like relationships.
Right.
Even like some of the boys, like they're all cuffed.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And again, just clearing it up.
Oh yeah.
And since you brought it up, let's talk a little bit about relationships.
Okay.
First off, are you single?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. All right, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
All right. First of all, has you being a cheerleader affected any relationships you might have had or had in the past before? Like, has you being a cheerleader actually affected anything regarding that?
It's
Oh.
had to do with like certain things. Like, I've dated like somebody on my cheer team before. Of course, like we're all so close and everything. Like,
Is he still on the team?
no.
Oh, okay. I was just trying to stir up a little bit. All right,
No.
cool.
So yeah, there was that. You know, other relationships I've had, like my freshman year of college. I dated like a kid for a few months and whatnot. That was during COVID, so like it didn't really affect anything with like time or this or that. But now, right, I'm like at the point where like I don't want to be in a relationship at all. Like I'm like young in my 20s. Like I just want to like figure myself out, like find who I am, and like just kind of live life and not having to like text anybody like, this is where I am, this is what I'm doing. Like, I don't know, if I had a boyfriend right now, like I would hate for them to be like, well, where are you right now? Like, what are you doing? Why are you with two guys, right? Like, I hate that stuff. Like, oh my goodness.
But that depends on the person too,
it does
right?
depend on the person, but a lot of guys are like that, like very possessive.
Yeah.
And like I just I don't rock with that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, of course there's gonna be like more mature guys in the future, which is why I'm like waiting.
Makes sense.
For people to be like just comfortable in their own skin and like confident, where they don't have to like care or worry. Like they could just be honest and, hey, I'm gonna go do this, and they're like, okay, cool, like I trust you, have fun.
Things. Yeah. And so wait, like your boyfriend you had freshman year, did being a cheerleader bother him at all?
Well, not really, because we didn't really have like much going on for cheer at the time.
COVID.
It was like 2020.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
All
so yeah, that was really it.
Okay. So for guys who want to shoot their shots with cheerleader, like what are the right ways to basically just shoot their shot with a cheerleader?
I mean, I can't really say for like other people. I guess like, I don't know. It might either depend on like who you are.
Surely guys have tried shooting their shot with you, right?
Yeah, I've had people.
So
try
like, what's the right way to do it? Because you probably had a lot of wrong ways.
Yeah, I feel like there's just more wrong ways. I'd say I don't even know what a right way is, because I feel like I'm just so like I don't know. I feel like I'm just so picky right now, to be honest. Like with what like I would want for myself and everything. Like, I mean, I would love to just like, I don't know. I feel like our generation doesn't like to just go on dates. Like, I would love to be like, I don't know, if somebody be like, hey, you're really beautiful. Like, I would love to get to know you more. Like, would you want to go out to like say Postino's at da-da-da? Like, are you free at this day at this time?
Just like a no strings attached date, or like? Yeah,
like no strings attached. I feel like it's like so much better to like just go on dates and everything. Just like,
you want a free meal?
Platonic.
No, I'm just yeah.
Not like that. I'm just saying like how things like used to be. Like if they pick you up, or say like you just meet somebody there, they bring you flowers, or say eventually, you know, a few dates in, they pick you up, like open your car door.
People aren't doing that for you?
No, I've never really had that. So I would love to just go like taken out on a date somewhere and just sit down and have a good conversation. Like, you don't need to like have any strings attached or like do anything or whatever. Like, I just feel like that's better nowadays, and be like going on like a few dates and everything and seeing how that goes, getting to know their personality, who they are before anything.
Yeah, that's a real
the moment.
Yeah, that's a real date. What are the dates you've been taking on? Wait. Like if That is a date. Like what you
That
just explained is a date.
Yeah,
so what are the dates?
Date now.
What
I
are
feel
the dates?
Well, people are just like, "Oh, do you want to hang out and come to my
Do you wanna
place?"
see-
Hey,
No.
pull up real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Are you gonna take me out first or what? Like,
That's bold. I would never.
No,
just
I
be like,
always-
hey,
I
pull
can't.
up to the
I genuinely
It's so
can't, no.
weird.
I know. So there's that. But like people I have dated, like,
They've done those things.
yeah, well, either I've known them for a long time, and then like we'll hang out and this and that, and then it comes more because I like really enjoy who they are.
Mhm.
And then like obviously we'll go out on dates and whatnot because
Okay.
they're like my boyfriend. But say like the freshman year one or whatever, like we met up like many different places in public. We hung out many times and everything, and like I would met each other's like families and whatnot, and it was really good. So that was like fine, but I haven't experienced like a nice
crazy.
day in a long time, or somebody bringing me flowers or something, because like I feel like I don't know, like I know what I deserve and what I want, and so I'm not gonna like settle for anything.
You would think people would try a little harder, right? You're
Right.
a cheerleader, so there's like status. So it's like, oh, yo, I want the cheerleader.
Well,
Every
I don't
guy's
feel like
problem.
there's like status.
Nah, there's status.
There's,
As a
to-
guy-
there's,
no,
there's
no.
definitely
Do you know
status
how?
as a cheerleader.
Do you know what it's like getting like a cheerleader's number and going back to the boys and just being like, yo, she's a cheerleader. Like there's status with it. So I'm surprised. I'm like, you'd think a guy would try a little harder for like a cheerleader because you're not
Honestly,
like
I don't know. Like I haven't really.
that's kind of surprising. I was not expecting that answer.
Well, maybe I've also heard before, like not from me personally, but like I've heard from other people and like other videos before that like some guys won't say anything. They won't compliment like a pretty girl or like ask a pretty girl out either because one, they're nervous, or two, they already think that like other people have already said this so many times when like that doesn't happen. Like sometimes I just like never really get complimented if I like go out with my friends or whatever. Like there's just nothing. Like
It's very
I don't know. I
insightful.
love talking to people, having fun, but that's
Yeah.
like a common thing where like sometimes pretty girls like they just don't get that attention or they don't get complimented because like
Well,
guys
you
just
guys are so
automatically
pretty, nobody even
assume
thinks. Yeah. Oh,
that
wow.
like they probably already like whatever.
Never thought
So
about
that's
that.
just like
Write that down.
No,
write that down.
Well, I never actually
so
thought
if
about
you
it
want
like
to
that.
compliment somebody, I would
Just
say
do
just
it.
go and do it. Just be confident and like don't do too much. Like you can approach a girl and being like, hey, like I just wanted to say like you're very gorgeous, and like you could just have it like short and simple, like I hope you have like a great day. Like,
Yeah.
just like something little like that, and they're like, oh, like that's just not very common.
You don't
Really?
think? Like, I just feel like because when people do that, sometimes they come off as weird, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like some people can be weird, but I feel like that's when they're doing too much. Like
Okay. Yeah. Start getting a little
I-
simpy and stuff like
yeah, a
that.
little bit much if they're like sticking around being like, so like asking more questions and
Mm.
everything, or keep repeating themselves, and you're like, okay, like bye. But if you're quick just being like, hey, like I like your smile or
Mm.
whatever, and then just like kind of like walk away or whatever, like
Okay.
then they'll be like, oh wait.
Well, okay. What do you think about the like whole nice guys finish last, right? Because I'm waiting for your like media trained answer already. No, I love nice guys and stuff like that. But like, you can see why some people don't think that's like how the bad boy and stuff like that. Like that's
okay.
a legit thing.
I was just thinking about this like the other day.
Mhm.
Because honestly, that's another reason why like I just feel like I just want to be single, because I can't decide whether like I sometimes like I love like the nice boys and everything, like the sweethearts, the little golden retrievers, and they're just so sweet. But sometimes it comes to the point where I'm like,
Bored.
oh my goodness, yeah, like I
Mm.
can't take this anymore, or like I don't know, yeah, like if
Mm.
I'm going
So it's
for
just a balance,
personality,
really.
you have to keep up that great personality and everything all the time. But if it's just like I don't know, sometimes I'll just like in my head like simp over like one of those guys
Mm.
that just aren't very nice, because I feel like it's that type of thing where they're like not playing games. They might be intentional, they might not be, but if they're like they'll like give you like a little compliment and then not text you for a few days.
Does that shit work? Because it's
Oh
I
my
hear
God.
mixed.
Like,
Be
don't
real,
do that
man.
I
on
hear mixed. Be
purpose.
so real.
Like, I would say not do that on purpose because it's so bad, because it makes people like I
It
don't
messes
know.
with everyone else. That's why
yeah, it
because
messes
they bring
with
that
your
stuff.
head.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they bring that stuff to like the next person. It's like, okay, well, I don't even know how to play
because
this.
they're like, oh well, they don't actually care.
yeah,
And but I was like, why not? Why don't they care? Like I want them to care, kind of thing. That kind of thing I also think about a lot. But then at the same
So-
time, like it doesn't really matter. And then I also think about if they wanted to, they would.
mm.
So I just go back and forth like every second, and I have no idea what to think.
There's so many games played. Like, look, like
I know,
just thinking about all the situations, it shouldn't really be that hard. But like, I don't know, people are just like that nowadays because everything is like a chess move. They're like, it shouldn't be that way. It should really just be natural. Yeah. But no, everyone's like, okay, wait, is this girl playing me? All right, do I got to send a text this time? Oh, she left me on deliver this long. I'm gonna leave her on deliver. Like, it's wild, and it shouldn't be that way.
I know, and like sometimes the games are just being played, and like you want to seem like nonchalant and this and that, but
and
then
they're fun sometimes.
You want to like, I'm like, does he care? Does he not care? Like, or it could be the other way around, where like the guy's thinking like, does she like me? Or like sometimes if you're just nice, they're like, oh, she's in love with me, I got her and everything, which is not true all the time. Like some people are just like kind and nice and stuff. It doesn't mean like that we want to date you or whatever. Like, I mean, you'll know, at least for me, like you'll know if I like you or not. But sometimes for other people, I'm like so confused. I'm like, does he like me? Like, does he not? Like, does he care if I live or die? Like, I have no idea. Honestly, I have no idea. Yeah. Because sometimes, you're lucky and you get a compliment, but other times, like, I don't know. That's wild. No idea. Yeah. So that's also a hard thing, but.
Is it true, like, cheerleaders only go for athletes, or, like, athletes go for other athletes? Is that true, or?
I mean, for me personally, that's, like, not all the case. Like, I mean, I don't know. Athletes are nice, of course. Like, I don't know, being a part of, whatever sport and like, just being athletic and whatnot. I just like, I'm attracted to like athletic build, like whether you're in the gym or this, that. So you don't have to be an athlete, but I don't know. Maybe for some people that's like a common trend, but not all the time. I don't think so. Well, like,
what's your type?
What's my type? I don't know. It's just
she's like black hair, 6 foot. It has to be this.
Well, sometimes I'm like, it's like a common trend of people, which is like, okay, that could be your type, but that's not always the case. Like, that's true. Yeah.
What's your resume look like? Like, do you have a type? If you look back, you're like, oh shoot, maybe I do like.
Well,
this.
Like the type of guys I feel like I am like interested in is not the type of guys I've dated before at all. Huh, really? So that's really confusing at the same time. Confusing. Like the guys I've dated are like one way and everything. They're like kind of similar and like really sweet and nice and this and that, whatever, like shorter and whatnot. And like, well, not like that short. I was just compared to like guys that I'm like, whoa. They're like, that's crazy. When they're like over 6 foot, they're like, oh, like.
Because you're what? Like you're like 5'1"?
No, I'm 4'11" almost.
You're in the 4.
Yeah, I'm like 4'10" and 3/4. So
damn. You didn't seem that short.
No,
no, I don't think so.
Well,
I guess it helps though.
You're really tall. How tall are you?
I'm 6'6".
6'6"?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, see, we both are like
4'10". How tall are you?
6'4".
Oh, dang, that's crazy.
But I guess it helps with your position, right? Like flying and shit like that.
Yeah, for flying and everything, like it helps a lot being smaller because I don't know, just like body composition. Yeah, it's easier to be like one of the top girls, which is like for like a pyramid, like the guys, and then middle layers, and then the top girl, which is usually I'm like at the very top and whatnot, and we'll do like crazy things up there. You're like flying like up 3 people, and so that kind of helps and everything.
Okay, and then keep it kind of on the guy stuff. What's the weirdest thing a guy has done while you were cheerleading?
While I was cheerleading? Yeah. Oh my goodness. There's so many different things, but the worst one where like I literally wanted to cry. I was at the bowl game my sophomore year. So it was like December 2021. We were at the Raiders Stadium for our like bowl game and whatnot, and I was like just standing in my line and everything facing the field, and I don't know who it was. They were somebody with a badge that was like walking around on the field. And so they like had their hand like swipe my lower back as they walked by. And I like kind of looked over my shoulder and they were like, I'd run a touchdown for you, maybe 2. And like winked at me.
Random dude.
Not like he was probably like in his 50s. I was like, oh my God. And like, mind you, I was so shy, like still at the time where I was like, I just felt like I was like stuck and I couldn't say anything and I like froze. And like, I just didn't know what to do and I just like wanted to cry. Like,
that sounds awful.
I know, and it makes me so uncomfortable. Like, there's so many things like that happens like all the time, like at games or walking around, like going between like appearances or whatever. Like, you just have to be so careful. Like, we can't wear a uniform like outside of cheer, like even going to the games or exiting the games ever. Like we always have to have like the boys with us walking to our cars.
That's
like
good.
being super safe.
They're all weird
that's
people.
a good thing,
and you're probably gonna get like objectified because of your outfit and stuff like that a little bit. So it's like, man, that's gotta get scary.
I know, it is so scary. And like that's just what's really hard. And especially not only that, just being like a female, especially my size, like just alone anywhere. It doesn't matter if it's day or night, like wherever you are, like it's just so scary. Like going anywhere. Like I've been followed around a Target before and like crying to like one of the workers to get security to walk me out because they wouldn't stop following me. Like
it's got to get creepy too, because there are some weird people out there. So
there is, and hope they get better.
It just comes with the job, I guess, right? But
oh man,
has anyone actually been successful, like getting like your number or something like that while you were cheerleading or something? Like,
while I'm cheering, well,
probably
we're
not
allowed
because
to like.
You can't interact.
Yeah, we can't really do that. Like interact like that while we're cheering. Like some people would be like, "Oh, like what's your Snap? What's your Instagram?" Like, I mean, like outside of it, like you can follow my Instagram. I'm not gonna give you, and probably not gonna follow you back, but you could follow me for sure. Or like look up the ASU Spirit Squad page. Like you can find me somewhere. But that's been kind of the thing. Like I usually just don't give my information out like that usually. So I remember like being in high school, we would have like cheer camps and everything. We would like be at the pool like during one of the nights and everything, and some of the like these like little boys like running up me and like, what's your Snapchat? And I was like, bye.
Oh. That's funny though. But I mean, I can only imagine. I mean, that's got to get weird again. Like, it's just people. And it's not just you, right? Like, just any of the cheerleaders, it could get pretty. Yeah,
there's been in the past, like, fan pages, like, of, like, made about some of the girls.
Is that cool? Y'all be like, oh, dope? Or is that, like, an automatic,
no, it's, like, really creepy. Like, sometimes it's, like, old men of, like, just posting with, like, some of the girls or, like, of the girls and whatnot. Like, some people I see, like, my parents are, like, in the stands and whatnot, and they're like looking over and they're like, are they recording my daughter? And like, what is going on? And like they'll just have constantly people like going up to like my parents being like, is that one your daughter? And they're like, she's so cute or whatever. Like there's some boys in me and like, what is her name? Like all this stuff. And I like, it was the beginning of like first quarter, like last night at the game, and like my mom was like yelling my name and I was like, what? And I looked over and these like two random old guys were like, go Katie, because they were like, okay, who are we embarrassing tonight? And so she thought it was funny. She was right there. And so was my dad. But that happens a lot where they're like, what's their name? Yeah, so
that's interesting.
Interesting for sure.
Shoot, I think we covered it all. Honestly, do you have anything?
I don't think so.
I think so. I think that was good. Again, Katie, thank you so much for being on again. I know this is your first one. You said you were shy and stuff. You're such a great speaker.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
keep talking.
So
you're like very personable, stuff like that. No, you're such a nice person. Keep doing these, and again, remember, we're the best podcast that you've been on.
Thank you. You guys made me feel very comfortable. So
good.
Thank you so much. Like you guys have great personalities, and like I hope that this like podcast grows so much because like it was so much fun being on here. So
and I'm excited to see what you do next. Again, you're such a smart girl, so it's such a talented girl. So again, if y'all don't know Katie, don't stalk her, but check her out in the description below. But I think that'll do it. Again, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Again, check out all the links in the description below. We love y'all. Any last words?
Thank you guys. Keep listening to Heatin podcast.
She had to read that off the bat. I saw that. That's all good. Anyway, we love y'all. We will see y'all next week. The Heatin podcast is out. Peace.